Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Friends, in this video we are going to learn about enum. Well, what I'm doing is I have created one project, and in that there is one package, and let me create a enum first. So what we can do is we can provide one name, like let me provide a enum name. So I'm going to provide like enum employee type as a enum, and select enum and just create. So this is how you can create enum. Okay, so what is enum? Enum is nothing but it is a class. It is a simple class that defines fixed set of constant. Let's say you have some constant like so 12 months or directions or some constant. For that you can create one enum, and you can define, you can put all those constant and you can use wherever you want. So here let me provide two constants like let's say full time, and then contractor. Okay, so guys, what we can see is like these are like constant. So enum can have methods also, you can define. So let's say enum have some other thing apart from these constants. There are some other methods or anything. You have to close it with this, and then you can start. But if there are only constants, so no need to put this, no need to close this. So this is how you can create a enum, and you can provide all those constant, and remaining like other methods we'll be discussing in coming videos. So when you create a enum, what happens internally? So let me show you something. Like whenever you are creating any enum, how it works internally. So when you create, let's say you create a employee type enum, so what happens is it will create a class like public, final, and class employee type. You can see it's like same name. With same name it will create a class, and it class extends enum, which is in Java lang package. Okay, it will create a enum, and it will have some predefined methods also. When you extend, there will be some predefined methods also. And also these are the constant, right? So what happens to these constants? So it will be like public, static, final, and then type will be this enum type, final, and then let's say this is the full time, so it's full time, and it's equal to new employee, and then its name is like this is full time, so it will be full time, and there will be ordinal like let's say 0 1. And similarly for second constant. So this is like ordinal, this is ordinal, 0 is the ordinal, like it's order how you have defined the constant. And same for contractor also. So let me provide, this is contractor, and this is contractor, and this is 1. So this is how internally it will create a final class that extends enum, which is in java.lang package. And for this constant it will create a public static final. That's why we are putting everything in caps letter, because these are like constant, final constant. So if there are some other words, you can just provide the underscore and some other thing. Alright guys, so this is how we create an enum, and this is how it internally works. Also what happens is like there will be some some by default, since we are extending enum class, there will be some by default methods, like you can say public, static, and then there will be some method like employee, which values method that will provide the it will provide, if you want to iterate over this constant, you can use this method. Okay, we'll be discussing this in coming videos. And there are some other methods also, like values of method, you know. And one more thing, the constructor will be private. Here it will be like private constructor, private, and then it will be like, you know, employee type constructor will be private. This is how internally enum works. So what we can conclude with this internal working, since it is final, first thing, we cannot extend enum, okay, because it's final. Second thing, the constructor is private. It concludes we cannot create object of enum, that is we cannot instantiate, right? So these are the conclusion. And why we are using all capital letters? Because it's final, it's like constants, and that's how we write constants, okay. So this is how internally work. Now let's see how to use this enum in other class. So what I'm going to do is, let me create one class. Let me create one class like employee class. All right, so I created employee class. Let's try to extend employee enum, like employee type. Let's check. Let me extend. See, we cannot extend because it's final. And okay, so we created an employee class and defined some method inside this, some variables like int id. Then let's provide private. Let's give name, and what was that, employee type, right? Employee type, let's say employee type, and create some constructor, full R constructor. No, you can just generate it. And let me create one no R constructor also. No R constructor. This is no R constructor, and I'm creating one method like to create employee, public, which will return type employee, and let me give as a create employee method. Employee method, which will take 3 parameters, int id, and then string name, and one more, we are providing in employee type, that is enum. So it's employee type, that is employee type, this is enum, and we are just return new employee and provide id, name, and employee type. Okay, so this is how we are using here enum. And what I am doing is, let me create one runner class where I'll be creating main method. And guys, let's try to create enum. Let's try to create instant of the enum. Let's check. So it's employee type, right? Employee type is equal to new employee type. See guys, we are not able to create because the constructor is private. That's why we cannot instantiate enum. Okay, we saw this thing also. Now let me create the employee object of employee is equal to new employee, and let me call the method present inside the employee, that is create employee. So I'm providing id, let's say 101, and then name is ram, and the type like enum. How we use enum is like that enum class name, that is employee type dot, you can see all constants whatever you have provided inside the enum, that is employee type. We have provided contractor and full time, that's why we can see only this. We cannot see other constant which we have not provided inside the enum class. So let me provide this full time and just print it to see the result. Okay, and let's run. Yeah, since I think I hope you understood why we are not able to get the proper message, because we have not override toString method. So let me quickly override toString method here and check. Let me provide some proper proper message. So let's give id and then provide id, and then let's give some space, and then name, and it should be name, and then let's give some space, and then what's that, employee type, right? Employee type, and then it should be employee type. Yes. Now let's run again and see. Yes guys, we can see id is this, name is this, and employee type is full time. So this is how we create enum in Java, and we created enum. We provided the some constant. You can provide number of constant, whatever you want, and this should follow all capital letter practice, because since it's constant, that's why we can by just name we can say it's these are constant, and this is how it works internally. And we also learn like we cannot extend or we cannot instantiate enum class, because the class will be final and there will be private constructor, right? And also we saw how to use enum, right, and how to call enum in some classes. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video, and remaining thing we'll be discussing in coming videos. Stay tuned. Thank you. See you.